Welcome back to the Amarettos on Armageddon podcast. It is it the 28th, April 28th today?
Sounds right.
Out here in beautiful Norfolk, Virginia. And you're at home, right, Thomas?
Yes, home just for the day. Correct.
Cool. How's things going?
Things are good. Things have been pretty good. Yeah, it's actually it's sunny out, so that's nice. And yeah, getting back in the swing of being back on the road. It's been a pretty mellow week. Family's good, so yeah, can't complain.
That's good.
It doesn't seem like the end of the world. You know, we can always use those days. You know,
right. Yeah, a little bit of vitamin D to fix the lack of dopamine.
A little bit of vitamin D and turn off the TV for a day. You know, it's important. Yeah, I was listening to someone the other day, and they were just talking about like how it's not normal for the human brain to just like constantly. I think Prince was saying this. It was an old interview really? From Prince. Yeah. He was saying it's our brains aren't wired to just like take in all this like global trauma all the time, and so trying to process that 24/7. It's just we're really not set up for it. So I think there's some truth in that. But I mean the paradox is that's really what this podcast is going to be about, right? Is talking about a lot of this stuff. But yeah, just some food for thought. Take a day off every once in a while is what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah. I think there's. I talked about that a little bit in my last one I put up was, or at least with the fact that I feel like there's got to be some balance between like you can't be so infatuated with entertainment that you're not like educated or like you have to have a balance between education and entertainment. Like, what do you spend your time on?
Absolutely.
Got to have a balance with that. So like sometimes. I would say like a 70-30 split would be pretty healthy. Like 70% of the time educating yourself, but take that 30% and enjoy yourself, and then it cut out.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's really important to have hobbies and have things to be passionate about, Otherwise you kind of fall in this loop and you really almost become part of the problem, like it's really important to find reasons to still savor life and have things to look forward to. And otherwise you can get so caught down the rabbit hole that it gets really dark. And so, yeah, I'm trying to, I've been pretty disciplined about going to the gym lately. So I've been feeling good about that. And maybe I'll start writing a little bit. And, it's good. It's important, man. It's important to do art. I think it's important to create, So yeah, absolutely.
I think that goes along with being created in the image of God, is that you're sort of a creator of some sort, and He gifted us with these abilities to create things. And I think it's important to exercise that. Yeah,
definitely, absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna take up oil painting.
An oil painting, yeah. There you go.
I've always liked to draw. I was never very good at that, that type of art, but I like to draw. And I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not. Like I think it'd be cool to get into painting, man. I go out on the road with my canvases and oil paints and paint a landscape of the beautiful truck stops that we stay at.
Right, and I think it kind of rises above like the. I mean, like, I despised art school when I was, not art school, like the art class in my school.
Yeah.
And, I was like, this is pointless. This is bullshit, but I think when you go into like when you go into something with like a professional scope on how you want to do it, like that you're really going to get detailed and meticulous about, like, you're really mastering your craft. I think that's where you find the enjoyment out of it, is being, and that's where the creative aspect comes in, because now you're an adult versus
like to have real goals and sort of like a real structure around that art to kind of is that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, and to really like exercise, like, because I think the beauty in creating something is the attention to detail. That you probably wouldn't have had as like a kid, that you're fine tuning it, and it takes away the, like, you still have the childlike ambition for it, but then you don't.
Sure.
It's not just like, well, and then too, you're older, so you're not like, when's recess? I want candy,
Yeah.
You don't have those sort of distractions, so.
And for some of you older guys out there, or older ladies, I think it's our culture is kind of like, man, you gotta discover your talent when you're like 10, and you just need to crush it. I think you can discover talents later in life and sort of hone them in. I was years and years ago. I did a study abroad program in China, and we went to this one art exhibit, and it was like all these works of art were done by these, it was an Asian style of art. I don't remember exactly what they called it, but I remember like I'm super interested in biographies, so I would always read below about the artists, And all the artists were like their first paintings were done when they're like 50s and 60s and 70s. And I'm like, and I asked one of the tour guides, I'm like, is this exhibit on like older, she's like, no, she's like, in our culture, like, it's perfectly normal for someone not even to get into art till they're like retired, and they still, gain fame from their abilities and stuff. So I think there's, I'm speaking myself. Maybe it's not too late, Chris. Maybe I can become, do something cool with art, someday. But I think we need to get past this idea that if we haven't discovered it yet, it's not going to happen. I think there's a lot of cool things we can still do.
I think it's very similar in the fact of, like, how like your palate for food changes. Like, you might not have liked something in the past, but then you kind of develop an interest for it going forward.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. We're not fixed. I got, what do they call that? Neuroelasticity, like this idea that our brains, as long as we're willing to kind of, take chances and head in different directions, that our brains to continue to grow, continue to develop to different things as we get older. So that's kind of an optimistic way to look at the future, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's an ever changing thing. I mean, there's things that I used to find enjoyment in that I don't now, and then there's things that I would have probably seen somebody doing something similar to me a couple of years ago, and I would have been like, oh my God, that's so like. Like, why would you even bother doing a podcast, but right. Now I'm so into it, and it's very enjoyable, and I enjoy doing it.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. What's something that you're not doing right now that maybe like has kind of been on the horizon, that you're like, that's something I really want to look into someday or get into, like a new hobby or a new skill. Is there anything kind of like out there that people would be surprised by?
I think there's some that I used to do that I would like to get back. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of things that I would want to do that I haven't done. But there's this is sort of my nihilistic view on trucking is that I'm just like, I want to get back to having the hobbies like that I used to have. Like I used to be big into weightlifting, and I used to be big into playing music. I mean, I used to play my guitar till my fingers bled, and like
right.
I used to be very into that.
That's awesome, man.
And it sort of got put on the side.
You have your guitar on your truck, do you not?
I have one. I have one on my truck. I have one at home, but the one on my truck, and these are just tour shenanigans, is that, well, I don't want to incriminate myself here a little bit. Let's say I was less than fully sober, and I came back, because we were sitting for a while, and I stepped on my guitar. So,
oh man,
it's currently caved in.
Yeah.
But I got a new one.
Yeah.
I do got a new one at home that is intact.
Ouch. Yeah.
Without a footprint in it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Got it. So if that were a sign, how would we read into this? Drink less or pick up a new instrument? Like what's? I think. What's the message, man? What's the message?
I think the message is that maybe it's sort of just like a symbolism thing of like I'm crushing my by doing this job, and
your inner child, you're crushing.
Yeah. I'm crushing like I'm delving into some degenerate things, that maybe I would do less of if I was back at home. Although I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, sometimes it scares me a little bit about going back home, is that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna are these habits that I have that I don't like in my life because of trucking, or is this something deeper that I'm gonna have to figure out,
Yeah. You need to do some of that self work, Yeah, for sure.
But I think there's only one way to find out, and I think that's to finally. I think I've clung to this job because it's comfortable. Because I've grown into it's uncomfortable. Like there's tons of things I could say that I don't like about how my life is right now as a truck driver over the road. But I think I've sort of clung to it because it's something that I know and that I don't have to learn,
Sure.
So I think
yeah. I mean, let's talk about, because we always, we're great complainers, like the two of us, like we go in this big circle. But let's briefly, what are some things that you like about it? Because what I'm going through right now is I'm almost doing like a complete 360, because I had left and then I came back, and like I'm it's also like definitely like a midlife crisis thing. It's like I'm 46. Like, is this going to be my identity till I die? And I've almost kind of come to that conclusion, is like, yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing. Like, I'm probably going to die in this truck, and so I've been kind of looking at things with a different perspective. And so for the first time, probably since my first year out on the road, when I really loved it, like I'm discovering things again that I like. What is there anything you can think that's positive, that's good for you, Chris? Like good for your personal growth to still be driving a truck, still be living in this little tin can, most of your days, is there anything you can think of, or is it definitely not your destiny?
I would definitely, I wouldn't say it's my destiny, but I would say it's, I would say I work on some, it constantly challenges my sink or swim sort of instinct, to where I have to react to what's going on around me. with touring and everything, because everything, you know how it is, everything's constantly changing.
Yeah.
You know, the truck needs to move here, the truck needs to move there. You know
what you're doing right now is there's a lot of moving parts, man. There's a lot of absolutely, and you're dealing with a lot of personalities, and yeah.
And I think it sort of physically puts me in a place where like perseverance is the only option, you know. So like I mean, because I'm halfway across the country, where am I gonna go? You know, I can't quit. I can't just. I mean, I could, but like the events that would follow would be catastrophic. You know, but it forces me to work in that range of constantly thinking on my feet and being sleep deprived and like that it's, you know, it's a challenge, and I think I don't give myself credit for it enough, and maybe this is a little selfish to say, but I think most people, I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't make it, and I feel like I'm just the fact that I'm still in the truck after 6 years is an achievement.
Absolutely. I think it's an experience that not a lot of people have had. You know, it's really unique that way. I was you know, I've been caught on like lately these interviews of like these inmates. I don't know. I'm like stuck on these inmate interviews lately about these guys that have gone to prison for like, you know, multiple felons and like that life and that experience. And I'm not in any way saying that you know we face those same challenges on the truck, but there are some weird parallels. You know, it's definitely. It's not normal to spend this, you know, as much time as we do in complete isolation. You know, it's like I went. I think we've talked about this before. Like I went through this period where I kind of fell down this. What I do? Where'd you go?
Oh, that's on me. Maybe I'll just add this webcam footage. I must have went to the backup.
Dude, your lighting's a lot better. What'd you do?
I don't know. But it's apparently quite a bit better. But awesome, it's off the webcam now. How's the audio sound?
Good. You're good. Yeah.
Good. Because it's not gonna go through the microphone anymore. I don't know how it ended up overheating, because it's not recording. The camera itself's not recording. It's the computer that's recording. I don't know. Anyway, we'll continue before we lose our train of thought.
I'm sure if we ever get the paid version, like everything's gonna work perfectly. You know?
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I mean this is the paid version of this software. It's not. It's more so an issue with the camera overheating, my splurge camera there. They sell these fans that can kind of clip in the back, and then it helps keep it cool.
My phone is warm, but it's not like nothing compared to the last time that we did this. So yeah. And this is your wheelhouse, dude. You're the tech guy, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it works better at home, because I can, you know, I would have ran the APU, but then you hear the APU in the background, and then it's like, right. So right. Anywho, where were we at there?
I was just saying. So I had this phase where I was kind of went new age. You know, my wife used to fuck with me, and she was like, you know, you can take the boy out of California, but not the California out of the boy. It was right. Like I went. It was like a year and a half. I was just going to like meditations and all this stuff, and their big thing was always like, oh, you gotta you know, face your demons and all that stuff. And then even before that, I used to be into like Asian philosophy. And you read a lot about these monks that go in caves for like years sometimes, you know, they surviving on like super minimal diets and meditating every day. And I don't know, I mean, that's kind of what we do we kind of get paid to do that for a living. and I feel like it's like this endless rabbit hole. Like the more you kind of delve into like why you think the way you think, and going through like childhood traumas and all that stuff, like it just feeds more. It's like this big loop, and you just go further and further and further. It's almost endless. There's a book called Bad Therapy that's out that kind of talks about this. It's like yeah. But anyway, I don't know what the ultimate conclusion of what I just said is. It's just we spend a lot of time alone, and yeah, it's hard to describe to other people, what that process is. But yeah, we're in our heads a lot. We're in our heads a lot, and that causes us to kind of be socially awkward. We were talking about that before, like being able, like looking at someone in their eyes, like it's like yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think there's, and you mentioned with the prison interviews and stuff, but like you're making parallels with that, but I think it's like, I think I think prison is sort of it is what you make it. I mean, there could be somebody in prison that's 10 times more free than I am in their mind, but like because if they're more open than my mind is, then I've sort of created my own prison,
Sure.
Yeah. So like
that's deep.
Limit myself on perspective and like only channeling negative thoughts, right, then I'm essentially in a prison. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I could look at it as like I am the most free person ever. I'm out here on the other side of the country. Most people can't even afford to be out here. I mean, like I'm not paying for it out of my own pocket. It's through the company. But then like, it's I could be in the most free version of where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
But still be imprisoned if I view it that way. So
well, I mean, I've been thinking a lot about this, like on like a super spiritual level, which you're basically saying. But it's like sometimes I think like God kind of locked us into these roles, like how that relationships, and this is sort of a more some Christians when it this might not be scriptural enough for a lot of guys, but it's just something I've kind of reflected on. It's like with me in trucking, right? Like where you're kind of thinking you want to do other things. With me, I'm kind of just surrendering to this. This is my role. This is who I am. I'm a truck driver, And sometimes I think that's God's locked us into these roles, and a lot of times those roles, don't make sense when it comes to like the alignment our soul. Like it may not seem like it makes sense. But that's the challenge God's giving us. Is He's saying, look, you have to be this person. Like, well, like you can try other things, which I did, and it just everything went to the dogs, But He's like, but ultimately you need to surrender to what you are, and then find your freedom and your bliss and your creativity in this character that you're locked in this life, right? And exactly what you're saying, is finding that still finding that freedom and that creativity, no matter what, no matter what we're forced to experience in this life, yeah.
I think it's sort of you have to you really have to appreciate where you are and find things that sort of make you like changes your whole psyche on it.
Sure. Yeah. Like even whatever we're locked into. Yeah. I mean, there's have you ever heard of Charles Bukowski? He was a California. He started out as a poet. Like poetry actually used to be considered cool, Now it's like, you write poetry, what's wrong with you, But he started out as a poet, and then he ended up writing, I think, I don't know, I want to say like maybe a dozen novels. And his big thing was he worked at the post office. His first novel is called The Post Office, and he was a postal clerk for like 20 years. but it's like his books are hilarious and his poetry's hilarious because it's just about like you love it, man. I might actually send you. I found on YouTube there's an audible version on YouTube that I think they did it with AI, but it sounds like he's reading his own book, so it's perfect. Like it hits the the just the right tone and everything. I think you'd like him, man. He's friggin' hilarious. He's hilarious. But yeah, so he writes. He learned again. He kind of finds that niche in this super inane job. It just all the BS and like a lot of things that we talk about as far as dealing with HR and our company politics and like he definitely sees the world in a pretty hilarious way. And so yeah, I mean there's an example of someone taking this inane position in life and just making the best out of it, and yeah, thriving. Yep.
I think humor is a good solution to cynicism.
I think it's the only solution. I mean, they're so closely related, man. They are so closely related. Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah, some of my favorite comics are super cynical.
Yeah, I feel like you could make the same statement, and depending on how you view it, you could either be completely cynical or this is completely joyful.
Definitely. Yep. Yeah.
As long as it lacks elements of nihilism, then it's it's still humorous.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Nihilism is pretty. There's nowhere to go with that, man. It just kind of makes everything. I mean, literally everything so meaningless. Yeah.
It's like going down the It's like going down the rabbit hole and hitting the bottom. Yeah.
yeah. With a 100 like a 500-pound weight tied to your ankle, just staying down there. Yeah. Yeah. And I think interestingly enough, you and I both suffer, struggle with this. Like we kind of go through this, this loop, and it's just learning that we're gonna go down there no matter what occasionally, but it's not staying down there too long. So.
Right, like it ebbs and flows. It's not linear, It ebbs and flows, and then you just have to recognize when it ebbs that you just fight your way through it. And I think, and I'm bad for this, and I really should do it, but I think it would probably behoove us to have like some sort of contingency plan of like when you reach that point, like how do you counteract that?
Fascinating. Yeah. I like it, man. I like it. And we could share that with the audience, and it could be like the Chris and Tom system,
Right. Yeah. The Chris and Tom system, a philosophical breakthrough.
Yeah. We'll be like the Anthony Robbins for real people, Yeah.
The non-Hollywood doctor,
yeah. For $10,000, you too can be happy,
Yeah, for $10,000, you could have CDs.
Yeah. Oh man, no, I mean he actually like he has like it's kind of. I don't want to say too many bad things about him because I think he's pretty well intended, but he actually has like these it's this tiered system, right? So like there's at the baseline it's a YouTube video, and then there's not CDs now, but then there's some other paid subscription. But then you can go to these seminars that some of them are like 10 grand. Like all these people go to Vegas and they get, like he's got this team of people and like everybody can get one-on-one help. And, they walk on coal. They'll do crazy shit. Like they'll walk on coals. They'll do trust falls and stuff like that. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, no $10,000, platinum package. We'll just give it to you for free. Just subscribe.
Yeah, just subscribe.
Very, very, very happy. Yeah,
yep.
And share.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all that's required. There's no strings attached.
Yep.
You don't have to buy any merch. So
you don't have to buy any merch. Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, you want to take a few minute break? I gotta use the restroom, and then
we're right at the 30-minute mark, so that's about halfway.
Dude.
So
you want to come back on here in like 10 or 5?
Yeah, yeah, like 10. Yeah, I'll probably go have a cigarette and then go make sure there's not a angry bus driver out there. Probably
perfect,
wonder why you can't get in. So okay,
perfect, man.
All
right, brother. Yep.
Later. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, hopefully maybe we'll be a little bit less technical difficulties. I kind of was sitting there thinking, it was something I was going to bring up before, is that I recently got that speeding ticket in California.
Right.
But I was starting to think, what did I say? What was I thinking about? Was that, I think, okay, so obviously I broke the law, right? Like I went over X amount of miles per hour, as the book says. I broke the law, right? So now I think that the scope of the law is more important than the law itself, personally.
Okay.
Do you think that applies elsewhere?
Explain.
So like the scope of the law to me is like, okay, so what was this law written for? It was to like decrease excessive speeding, like
Got it.
in what effect was this endanger, like, and it's just increase the safety of the public?
Yeah.
At what point was this decreasing the safety of the public?
Were you were you actually endangering anybody?
Right.
Isn't that like, is that the broken window fallacy or whatever? There's like this idea in policing that they have to enforce every law to the T, because it otherwise it opens up this door of, like, people interpreting everything on their own, and then pretty soon people are kind of rationalizing not paying attention to any law. I mean, it's a very cop-minded sort of mentality, and I think that's one of the reasons they justify it. I'm not agreeing with that perspective, but I think that at least is what they tell themselves, and also right. I think it is a revenue thing, and I think the incentives, the incentives, financial incentives, and maybe they do get a plaque on the wall at the end of the month by writing so many tickets. It just feeds it, man. It's what motivates people. Yeah, I had a I never followed it up, but I had a conversation when I first started trucking with this guy, and he was saying that there used to be a lot more variable speed limit states with trucks and cars. And they did this big study of, like, is it making the highways safer by having variable speed limits? And they actually, and again, this is just a conversation I had with this dude, and it's something I should just go research. But so they did this study, and they actually found that in some cases it makes things worse, because now you have the trucks going super slow and cars wanting to get around them, so it creates all these bad situations. So they published a study, and they said, look, these variable speed limits actually don't make sense. And so a lot of states dropped them. They're like, okay, good study, drop it. And then the states that kept it, they interviewed people, and they're like, why? And they basically said, because we'd lose millions of dollars in revenue if we get rid of this. So it's messed up, man. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Like, especially a state like California, like these back roads, like 5 through the Central Valley, like, it's flat. The visibility's good. It's so dry in California. Like, the visibility, it's always sunny. It's like, why are we only allowed to go 55? It's insane. It's complete insanity.
Right. And I'm not an advocate of excessive speeding by any means. And I think there is an added element of decreasing your speed as a semi, but like you said, when you're out where there's nobody and 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 there's not really a danger, why
Sure.
can't those areas have the speed limit increased? Um, so and I mean it. I guess more of my point with that was that like um I just don't understand what and you know the whole time I'm pulled over I'm watching all these cars blow by at like 80, 90 miles an hour and it's like
Right.
you know like was I
Even the toddlers in the back seats are like giving them a finger as they fly by.
right and
Yeah.
I feel like it was an easy grab because like
Mm.
you have a professional
Yeah.
driver, he's going to be
Yeah.
compliant,
Yeah.
he's probably not going to pull a
Yeah.
gun on you, like he's a
Look at
very
this
easy
guy.
stop.
He's got both hands on the wheel. He's sitting up straight. He doesn't have his bare foot on the dash. He's like he's just gonna bend over and take this without a fight. I'm
Right.
pulling this guy over.
Right. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a very easy traffic stop for me today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he saw your Wisconsin IFTA sticker, and he's like, "Oh, these Wisconsin guys, man, they're polite. They're polite. They're easygoing. Like, oh, this is gonna be an easy ticket." Yeah, yeah,
And and I tried to play I mean, there's always the side that says, you just as long as you comply, there's no issues, everything. And it's like, I mean, there was a laundry list.
God
There was a
damn
laundry.
it.
There was a laundry list of things that were just totally unnecessary, in my opinion. Like I don't think we had to get to that level with everything because I mean, like he cited the
Yeah,
company for not having their interstate permit. He looked at
right.
my logs. He didn't.
Yeah,
He saw that I didn't have a load manifest for every single day. Like
yeah.
it was just very um it was very much throw the book at you, you know.
Right, right. That's insane,
So
man.
like
Yeah, that's insane.
he got
Yeah.
his 6 citations he needed for the month in one stop. you know, you
Right,
know.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's insane how at the end of the day how human these cops are, and it's like life's just insane. Like this list of incentives that we all try to like check these boxes, like no matter what our job is, and that's how it just feeds this endless machine that just keeps piling forward.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah. It's super frustrating. Like nothing makes you think like meditate on this stuff more than when you actually get a ticket, when you're pulled over or something happens. Like it's just so it's so friggin' frustrating, man. It really is. It really is.
Right, cuz I mean
Um,
like I just got in my opinion I just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time because I mean all
yeah.
morning I had trucks blowing my doors off going 70, 75, and it's like
Right,
in
right.
fact
Blowing your doors off that didn't even have doors,
in
like
fact
with like missing side panels, and they're just. It's like, how's this guy even still driving? You see those trucks. You see those trucks, and you're like, how is this dude? And you talk to him, you're like, oh, I've been driving for 25 years. It's like, what?
yeah.
What?
In fact, there was a guy ahead of me that kept fighting me for speed that I actually backed off from what I was doing. So that guy went past, and I
Uh
just
huh.
happened to be making a pass, which like, you know, speeding is not is illegal, but then how are you supposed to make a pass without speeding? You know,
Right.
like
And that's why I strongly believe that the variable speed limits actually creates dangerous situations. I really do. I think that there should be a what do we collective lawsuit or whatever against states with collective, these collective speed limits, because
yeah.
I actually think it increases danger because now let's say you're in a car. I never use the word four wheeler. I hate some of the trucking lingo. But let's say you're going down the road, and you're in your 2021 Honda Accord, right?
hmm
And you don't consider yourself an aggressive driver. You want to go. Let's say it's 70. Let's say the speed limit for cars is 70, and you want to go 69. Which that to me doesn't make sense. At least do 72. But anyway. So you're going down, and then you get this truck in front of you that they're actually going over the speed limit a little bit for trucks. They're going, let's say they're going 59. That's 10 miles slower than you want to go. Okay. So now you jump, but you're also a super, you're also kind of a, you're a very careful driver. So you jump out in the fast lane, but you're only going 69. Now that other car's coming up behind you, and they're like, dude, why are you like, I want to at least go 72. And so now everybody's pissed and everybody's trying to jockey around each other. I see it all the time out there. Like you see your average driver like frustrated because it's like, why am I stuck behind this speed? And then you have the guy that's like by the book that just got out of trucking school that they're going 54, right? They're going 54, 55. And you're that Honda that gets stuck behind the 54, but you're not very good at passing. Follow my reasoning, right? You're not very good at passing. Because you've never been an aggressive driver, but now for the first time in your life, you're annoyed, right? So you jump out at the wrong time and you have a major wreck, man. You jump out at the wrong time, you get clipped by somebody, there's a major wreck, right?
Yep.
Then whose fault is that, right? Whose fault is that? They're gonna blame the guy flying down the fast lane, which is stupid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, and this is again where it just circles back to like the scope.
We should write we need to write a letter to Newsom.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's sort of the frustrating part is that although this is an area I work in, I'm not a resident of this state, so I don't really have any legal jurisdiction to
you don't have any
clout.
Yeah.
Like you would have to be a California resident.
I love your movies. I'm a fan of your movies.
Yeah.
Like, please help out here.
Yeah. Send in the T2000 in there.
Yeah. He'd ask you if you were vaccinated, most likely, but
probably. That's very true. That might be that would probably be the question. But yeah, I mean, so like, I guess my question is that okay? So there's this whole situation now. How does that translate to other laws? Like, do you think it's cookie cutter that like every law should be followed to a T, or do you think it's cookie cutter in the way that like you should look at the scope of the law? I kind of lean towards, the more I thought about it, I was like, you just like the laws are not written to in a sort of a similar way of like the law of Moses is, and the reason that Jesus came is that the law is not set there that because to be followed to a T. I think it's I think it's the idea behind
so here go ahead. Finish that thought. I'm sorry.
It's the idea behind why this law was put in place. What was this meant to prevent,
Well, so now here I'm going to jump out on a limb here and go more into my sort of conspiracy Thomas, I think a lot of it too is even this idea of like enforcing all every law, even the stupid laws, is it's to maintain this illusion of control, right? Because I think and then so this becomes a bigger conversation, right? Is I think one of the reasons that all governments, right, all state governments, federal governments, historically and presently, are able to sort of maintain this sort of sense of power and sense of control over populations it's mainly illusory. Like it's really an illusion, right? And to maintain that illusion, they do have to go after guys like Chris in these situations. So to make people think like, man, we are out here and we have this control, and if you just sort of break this really minor law, like we're going to go after you. So it's kind of like maintaining this illusion. I think like if tomorrow everybody on the planet just said, look, we're going 20 miles over the speed limit, very quickly it'd become apparent how little leverage that these state governments and federal governments have. Like their resources are super limited. Like you see that a lot of times in crises. When there's big disasters and stuff. It becomes super obvious, like, whoa, these, geez, and I was watching CSI the other day, and whenever there's a problem, they just send in the experts and they solve it and they take care of it. I told my wife, I'm like, babe, CSI and some of these cop shows you watch, it's like it's complete propaganda. But I think some of this exists to make us think that they have a handle on things, but again, they really don't. So you were like a sacrificial lamb,
Yeah.
And like in a way it was like, yeah, Chris, go tell all your friends, how quick we'll enforce our laws here in California, and so here we are spreading it online, and but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's it just uh, it makes it feel like the spider web is very large that they have,
Right.
but I think I mean I had to tell myself, I was like, I mean, cuz I drove exactly 55 all the way through California on the way out, and then I was like,
Yeah.
thinking about doing it on the in all the other states, cuz I was like, well, this really ain't worth it, but I was just like, what, screw them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always go 5 over. I've never had a problem with it. Like if it's going to continue to be a problem with being 5 over, I think we have bigger problems than me speeding. I think we have a larger problem of over over policing, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to continue to drive the way that I have been, and we're just going to go that route because it's worked for me up until this
Just
slip
be
up.
absolutely, man. And if anything, it's God, it's a universe, rejecting you out of this industry. If it happens again, like sometimes that's the best way to look at things. Is like if it happens again, it's like, man, something in the world, God doesn't want me here anymore. Like
It'd be like,
you like a guy, yeah.
I'll feel like Balaam on his donkey, and then the angel comes and blocks the path, and
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe 100% stuff like that happens. I really do. I really do. And again, when you're present and you're in that moment, it's not going to feel good. Like you're not going to adjust to it immediately. But in hindsight, you'll look back, you'll be like, absolutely. Like I needed to get out of that industry, or I needed to go to this other job, or I needed to have these other experiences. So God knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I wouldn't beat yourself up, beat yourself over it, too much. Whatever's meant to be will be, So
Right. I mean, I pretty much, I see it as I mean, there's this longing in me to get out of this, just to, I mean, and I may end up back, but I think I think it's there for a reason. Like, I feel like there's something else I may need to do. Like, trucking might continue further along my path, but I feel like there's got to be, there's another stepping stone between me and my next truck.
Sure. Well, and I mean, what is kind of cool about our industry is like, as long as you keep your CDL current, like it's so, like, as I've proven, it's really easy to leave and come back. There's a lot of industries where if you leave and come back, they're gonna be like, what? Like, so, so you were a lawyer and then you left to, you moved to Africa and you're living in a grass hut for a year, and like, like now you want to come back and practice law. Like in trucking, they don't even care. I mean, the only thing I had to go through when I came back is I had to do another, I had to do what do you call it, a safety test drive, and do all that, which was annoying. But so for the most part, like, they didn't really care. Like, I was totally transparent. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I wasn't working for most of the time, and then I kind of went on these random, job interviews here and there. Like, I said all those things that you're not supposed to say in a quote unquote job interview, and
right.
they, the VP over there, she didn't even care. She's like, did you get a DUI while you were out? Did you get a speeding ticket while you were out? That was what mattered,
Right.
So whatever you decide to do, just try to at least keep your CDL present and good to go,
Yeah.
If you decide to leave,
I'll keep it as a safeguard.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just see. I mean, ultimately, I have no idea what the future holds. I mean, as it stands, we just keep lumping on tours, and then I never have the chance to leave. So maybe I am meant to stay, and maybe I'm being stubborn. Dude, who knows?
I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking like I mean, well, again, I don't know what you're meant to do. If anybody ever claims they know, like run away from that person. But Yeah, it seems cool. It seems cool that that you're making these connections and stuff. I mean, I think that's who knows, man. Maybe you'll get like a small, really small band like down the road, and
Yeah.
that band will blow up, and you'll end up being like their guy. They're like, hey, I don't care. I don't care what your company says. Like, we want you. This does still happen in the industry. Like, I don't care who you decide to work for. Like, we need you on the next tour or whatever. And so that would be ideal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
And then you could call me up and you could be like, dude, you
it shifts the control away from the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it kind of dawned on me when we were talking about, well, you talked about your tour you had with the box truck, and then it came up with um whatever it was, when my boss and the production manager had talked when we were in Milwaukee, and it was that, I mean, there's some of these artists that they don't need a whole semi, it's a box truck. And, I kind of steered away from the owner operator idea because I'm like, it's just such a large investment and huge
Right.
liability. And you don't really get a great return on investment unless you do touring. And if you buy the
Right.
truck, well, then you're married to it. And then that's that. But like, it made me think about a box truck because I was like, you stay under 26,000 pounds. You're not part of the, I mean, you don't have to jump through all these hoops that you have to with the CDL.
Sure. Sure. Yep.
And
You can park at Starbucks.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a cheaper startup cost, easier to get in
Yeah.
and out of venues. I was like, I don't know,
Absolutely,
maybe that's an
man.
idea. I get a fleet of
Yeah.
box trucks, and then I feel like that's an untapped market. I mean, like, you really
Interesting.
don't see a
It's
whole lot
it's
of.
actually it's big out on the east. Yeah, it's big out on the East Coast. Like, I've met drivers that drive like small box trucks and like, why are you driving a semi? He's like, I make, they tell me how much they make and stuff, and they do really well. But yeah, man, I absolutely, I think that'd be, and what you just said, they said it's a lot easier to get into. It's a lot easier to, your startup costs are lower, and for sure, man, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like it's untapped by, like, I mean, like, you don't see these large fleets of box trucks other than, like, I mean, like, Penske's rental though, so
Yeah.
there's all, they're all rental companies. Um,
Right. Right.
but it's a thought. I
Cool.
I think I'm steering towards just maybe at least do it as a reset to get home every day and live more of a normal schedule. I think would be good for me. And then maybe that's all I need is just a reset. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like, I've been doing that now. My driver manager, she asked me if I wanted to do resets, or just do recaps. And usually I do recaps. I'm like, yeah, let's do a reset. It makes a huge difference, man.
yeah.
The Sabbath, man. The Sabbath does matter. There's a
Yes.
reason for that,
Yes.
There's a
I think
reason for that.
I think it's mentioned like 100 plus times, the Sabbath. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. I mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
God took
absolutely.
a day to rest. Yeah. So
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. So Jesus slept. Jesus took naps. Jesus took
yeah.
naps. Yeah. No, there's I used to have a hat that said Jesus. I think it's just Jesus took naps or something. Yeah. 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 Still
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Switched
Cool.
over the webcam again. That's interesting because yeah. Anywho, to avoid more edits, just keep going with it.
Sounds good, man.
But
Sounds good.
yeah, I mean, he took naps. I think I deserve a nap. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it, man.
So
Go for it. Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? What are you doing today? You're just gonna grab something to eat and go to sleep?
probably I bought groceries, so I have to eat through those. Another one of those justify my purchase sort of deals.
Sweet. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say justify my purchase. It's actually a good idea to eat my
Hmm.
groceries rather than go out. Take my buyouts and put them in my pocket and just
Oh,
yeah.
food it's getting too expensive out there.
It
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is. I want to say I paid, how much did I pay? About $160, and I've got a good chunk of groceries, but that was at Quick Trip in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so I mean,
Not
what did I
Jack's
get?
Market.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't shop at Whole Foods. No,
Yeah,
you know,
you didn't get sprouts and some baby greens and
no,
they
no.
have good. Jack's Market does have good produce, man. They have a really good produce section, but yeah.
Do they? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they
I
are
think.
kind of pricey.
I think it's another one of those things that's sort of designed to, like, I feel like I shouldn't even say I feel like they do want you on this paycheck to paycheck cycle, because that is the prison, you know. And it's no doubt hard to make it right now with inflation, but I think it's you gotta find ways to break out of that. So
Yeah, it is becoming super challenging. You know, it's becoming harder and harder, and maybe that's just the nature of the game. You know, you as you level up, each level gets a little bit harder, and then you get that final level. You know,
yeah,
we just gotta win it, dude. We can't give up. You know.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta persevere. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's hard to stay on track with that stuff, especially, and that's also part of it, is where you know, you work so long, but you got to find the discipline somewhere, because if you don't, then you just fall right into their plan of keeping you overworked and under nutritionized. Oh, I can't think of the word I want to
That's a
use.
good word. Well, you just
Yeah,
invented it, man.
yeah,
Nutritionize. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because I think, like, I mean, all this processed foods that they put out, all these processed foods that they put out there are very, very, very bad for you.
It's
I
horrible, dude. Have you? I was watching some girl the other day, and she was maybe it's too soon for this, but she was doing a thing on like looking at kosher food versus the food that the rest of us have to eat, and it's insane. It's insane, man. Like just like a bottle of ketchup, like a bottle of ketchup, dude. It was like three ingredients, you know, real cane sugar, tomato sauce, and then they're like citric acid or something. And then she's like, "Here's the ketchup that the rest of us, you know, buy," and it was just like 20 ingredients, you know. It's
mm,
I think that's well I know that's huge on like mood and like general peace of mind and how we feel as this diet, man. It's figuring out a way to eat real food. You know, it's yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunately, the health guru at our company is right, man. We got to do our 10 hours at Whole Foods. You know.
yeah. I don't think anybody ever says she was wrong. I think it's just more of a pride thing. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna tell
yeah.
me how to eat, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It's nobody wants to buy from the snake oil salesman. So yeah. There
Yeah.
are some things that she puts out that I'm like, like that. That's like a little bit further on, like some of the all these supplements that she advocates for. I'm like, I don't know if
Yeah.
you need all that, but like,
Tape some rose quartz to the back of your seat, you know, and it'll just
yeah, or like, you know, you need to do daily foot soaks, and you can do it with a bread bag, and yeah. I don't think
Did that
I
come
don't think
out? Was that one of
that
the
was a
ones?
while ago. That was a
Oh
while ago.
wow.
Or
Yeah,
then, like,
yeah.
I think that's most of the retaliation against it is just the impracticality within the truck to do some of the
Sure.
stuff that just,
Sure.
like what was it, strawberry goat
I
cheese salad, because I have such a large selection of goat cheese salad at the Love's truck stop. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
like yeah, there's just bountiful amounts of goat cheese. Yeah. Um
Dude, that would be hilarious. That you should do a short on that. Is like walk into a Love's or a TA and whatever, and just like straight face and somehow film it, right? You need to get those glasses with the camera.
The meta glasses, yeah.
Yeah. Get the meta glasses and walk in and just like straight face. Excuse me, ma'am. I forget what aisle is your go-to. Just get a reaction, dude. That'd be freaking hilarious. Yeah. I mean, even like, I always say that Love's has like some healthy selections. Like even like if you just look at the ingredients in like Italian salad dressing, it's like, what is like, do we need all that? I get the preservative argument, but it's like, do we really need all this stuff? And it's Italian dressing's supposed to be, balsamic or whatever, and olive oil, right? And it's just everything, man. Or you look at these wraps, and it's just supposed to be chicken and like some salad and then a tortilla wrap, And it's just like, what is all this stuff, So,
yeah.
Well,
I suppose we're right about at the hour mark.
Cool, dude.
This worked out pretty decent. I don't know how often I'll be able to do with my hotspot, because I'm using the hotspot off the phone. So I mean, hopefully in the future I'll be closer to the venue and just hook up to the venue's Wi-Fi, and then I don't have to worry about it, because I only get so many gigabytes of hotspot.
Right.
And that kind of messes things up.
Can I just throw something out there real quick? If you've managed to if for the 3 people that have actually watched this video to the end, and I mean I think that's a pretty generous estimate. Like if you like Chris and I would love you to be a little critical with us, and even mention maybe topics that you want us to talk about, and be specific, not just like, oh, could you just talk about politics or talk about this? Like, be specific, or even say like, criticize myself or Chris, and so there's things we could kind of hone in on and work on, and so
Or if you want to be on, you can be a guest as well. Yeah, we'd love to have people
on. Absolutely.
We want some outside ideas.
Absolutely, man. For sure.
The echo chamber is only good for so long.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good episode. Thanks for your time, Thomas. Thanks for. I know we've been kind of on off schedules, but this worked out good, and looking forward to doing the next episode.
Sweet. Sounds good. Everybody have a great day. Yep. Keep your head up.
Yep. Keep your head up. All right. Take care, everybody.
Yep. Later.